Hey, it's Kevin Hart with my friend Catherine O'Hara.
Tis I.
And we're cash backing on our entire holiday gift list with Chase Freedom Unlimited.
We are. How about cologne for Jack?
You know what? That's cash backing and it's in the air.
Ooh, and I love this scarf for Barbara.
And I love the cash backing.
Ooh, focus on the giving, Kev.
And one more on the list. Somebody named Kev.
Kevin?
Yes! How do you cash back? Learn more at chasefreedom.com. Chase, make more of what's yours.
Restrictions and limitations apply. Cards are issued by JPMorgan Chase Bank and a member FDIC.
Hey, what's going on, y'all? Welcome to a new episode of the Late Night Lake Show podcast presented by Prize Picks. Use promo code LNLS at prizepicks.com when checking out and making your first deposit for a 100% deposit match up to $100. We join you guys today on December 5th, year of our Lord 2022. And the tides are a-turning, my brothers and sisters. The Los Angeles Lakers, after an abysmal 2-10 start to the season, have now won 8 of 10 and climbed their way back into relevancy with a current 10-12 record. Now, this is still only good enough for 12th in the West, but they find themselves today only 2 games back of everybody's favorite Golden State Warriors franchise, and they sit at the 6th seed, and only 3.5 games back from the could be West contending Memphis Grizzlies sitting at that 4th seed. So there is a lot of basketball to be played, and we think the Lakers are putting themselves in positions to be players in the playoff picture. Boy, oh boy, what a change of the month will do to the morale of a franchise. This is going to be a short episode today, folks. Kwame and I have another interview coming up. By the time you guys hear it, will be dropping on Thursday with a very special guest. So make sure to check out that on our Late Night Lake Show YouTube channel. Make sure you're also subscribed to the channel. But we begin today with a word about Anthony Marshawn Davis Jr. Kwame, it would be sacrilegious if we did not start with our big man in the middle. What once was talked about as a fable, a story tale, a fairy tale, lightning captured in the bottle, was that 2020 playoff run by Anthony Davis. Folks said we'd never see that day again. Forget about it. Everything that happened for him to be that dominant will never happen again until the next pandemic. Well, my brother, I'm here to say we are watching an Anthony Davis that is better than what we saw in the bubble. Over the past 10 games, Anthony Davis has been averaging 34 and 15 on 63% shooting from the field. 2 of my favorite stats might just be from the charity stripe. Anthony Davis is shooting his free throws at an 86% clip. I'm sorry, I'm not going to get too emotional to start the game, but damn it, man, if that ain't signs of how we have turned the page on what a dominance actually looks and feel like, you can start right there. And also, just a little treat for y'all. Anthony Davis is shooting 1 3-pointer again. Just 1. After Darvin Ham and the Lakers front office said we want AD to shoot the most threes he's ever shot in his life, we now see today that AD at his best is right there in the paint, right there in the mid-post, doing damage. Kwame, my brother from another, AD has returned to being the premier, the poster child of what a two-way dominant big man should look like in the NBA. I don't even know how many other bigs have touched this level of dominance that's currently playing in the league. Maybe 1, maybe 2, but damn it, it's less than a handful. Brother, why are we seeing this level of dominance out of AD now? And is this the AD that can carry us into the playoffs with this Lakers team currently constructed?
Man, I don't know. I mean, I don't know what got into this man, but this is what we was asking for right after the bubble, when we were like, hey, he balled out in the bubble. In the next season, he's going to ascend, and he's going to be the best player in the association. Injuries in the short off season derailed that. Last season was a complete disaster, but we're seeing the AD we were owed from 2 seasons ago. And brother, is it beautiful to watch. This man is dominating on both ends. Offense, defense. This man cannot be stopped. If he is 2 feet in the paint, you might get banged on, or he's just scoring. It's whatever, man. Jump shots looking beautiful. Like you said, free throws are great. He's sending shots without having premier perimeter defenders. He's shutting down that paint, brother. He is doing his damn thing, and he deserves all the flowers, all the apologies. I need to apologize my damn self because I was tired of this brother. He was not doing what I wanted him to do. He was not coming out and being the most dominant big on the floor, the most dominant player on the floor night in and night out, and he has showed me that now. I don't know if he's gotten healthy because I know he had some back issues to start, but it looks like those are way in the past. Because I've never seen a man with a bad back go out there and average 35 like it's nothing. So if he can do that, imagine when his back is healthy, he's going to give us 45 every night. But this brother has been something special. Shout out to the team, the coaching staff, everybody for looking at him and saying, you going to be our best player. You going to carry us to the promised land. Bron, you cool, but you old as hell. This is AD's time. This is what we have been waiting for as Lakers fans since we got Anthony Davis, for him to ascend to be the best player in the purple and gold night in, night out. And it's beautiful to watch. Like you said, man, it's averaging 35 points, 15 and a half rebounds, 3 blocks since the 2-10 start.
We even mentioned the defensive metrics, right? You said 3 blocks per game.
3 blocks.
Anthony Davis's defensive rating right now is good for second in the NBA. With a 104.7 defensive rating. The boy is back to being the demon in the post on both ends of the court, man. I can't paint a better Anthony Davis if I had Van Gogh to my right and I had fucking, I don't know. I couldn't paint a better Anthony Davis right now, man. It is it's one thing, right, when you're dominating inferior competition like last night. Now, what he did last night against the Washington Wizards is something that you treat as a gift from God. You look at that and you're like, 80, 55, the game kind of was put away. He probably could have stopped at 48, probably could have stopped at 50. But damn it, when you in the zone, brother, the only thing stopping you from going off of that many points is, you know, the injury concern. But he rode it out. He did his thing. And every single shot felt like it was either an open jumper or he was just fucking cooking them with dunks in the post. We are back to 2020 80 level of just volume of dunks, man. And honestly, this is when you see that there is another level of big men in the NBA. We always talk about the development of the bigs. What is the 2022 version of your premier ideal big man in the league? Jokic is an anomaly. You got Embiid, who is a physical specimen in his own right. And then you got Giannis, who is a blended version, an AD prototype with just a little bit more ball handling and explosiveness in the open court. But for my money, give me the man that can mix it all together. Giannis ain't shooting like this from the free throw line. Jokic ain't defending like this. Embiid is a foul merchant. Anthony Davis is giving you all the best things of these players, except for the assist side from Jokic. He's a unicorn in his own right for that. But when we break it down and we start stacking up what Anthony Davis is doing this season, comparing it to his counterparts, he is the best big in the NBA right now today. Debate your grandmammy. Yesterday was at church. You could have debated your pastor or priest, but you're not going to come up here and step into the Late Night Lake Show podcast and try to tell me that what you are witnessing out of Marshawn Davis Jr. is not an absolute run that Lakers fans have been hoping and praying for. Mind you, LeBron's been out. LeBron was out for a handful of games battling his own injuries, but AD carried the load and still showed you that he was the one. Everybody was complaining about Anthony Davis and his dominance, in the first half of games and kind of falling asleep in the second half where people weren't feeding him this and that. He's not doing that no more, baby. What did he give you, 17 yesterday in the fourth? Right? Yeah, that game against the Bucks, he was absolutely stepping up to the challenge and putting his foot on the Bucks' necks, baby, to the tune of 44 of them on the road, which we was in the building for. Kwame, might have been my favorite game that I've ever been to in my life.
Yeah, nah, man. Anthony Davis has been absolutely amazing on both ends of the floor. And like you said, he's got to do this without having all-world defenders around him. Giannis gets a lot of slack because Brook Lopez is there to kind of back him up so he can easily operate as a help side defender, that sort of thing. Anthony Davis is the lone man in the middle, patrolling the paint, got to defend his man, got to help on the weak side, the strong side. And he's been doing it better than I've ever seen it. This man, Anthony Davis, has ascended, went toe-to-toe with Giannis, and outdid him. We were literally talking about this a couple weeks ago. You used to compare Giannis and AD, and it was like laughable, the gap that we see now.
Said the combo's over.
The conversation was over. I think we need to bring it back. I think we need to have a dialogue. Anthony Davis is back. Now, let us continue our run. Let us keep stacking up these W's. Yep. We really going to see this man insert himself, if he isn't already, in the MVP conversation.
Even hold on now, Kwame. Hold on.
As well.
What team does he play for?
The Los Angeles Lakers.
So he's automatically out of the MVP race, brother. Hey. There's no postseason awards except for Finals MVPs are allowed for the Los Angeles Lakers.
You might be right, but hey, we gonna start the conversation whether they like it or not. We gonna be in it. So hey,
you damn Skippy, man. Clearly we are over the moon about Anthony Davis performances. And I was a person to start this year and start this season where AD was definitely under the microscope for me. Like I've, as a lifelong Lakers fan, LeBron comes in, LeBron is LeBron, does what he needs to do, brings in Anthony Davis, they win a championship together. To me, I feel like LeBron has held up his portion of the agreement for him to be a Los Angeles Laker, right? 1 championship, LeBron James. 2 championships, right? That's a cherry on top. LeBron is obviously much older than AD. AD, when signing with the Lakers, or when he was traded to the Lakers, and then obviously signed his most recent extension, the thought was AD Laker for life, right? This is our next great big for all eternity. When we get to the past 2 seasons, though, and we're met with disappointment, you're in my mind, I'm like, this shouldn't look like this. Win or lose, this man right here needs to be Hemi Hardaway, Timothy Davis Jr. Everything. I don't need saucy Santana Anthony Davis trying to tween out on the perimeter and chucking up threes. I needed him to be Debo Anthony Davis in the paint with a sprinkle of saucy Santana only after he is in his zone and has established his dominance from inside out. That was the biggest thing that aggravated me about AD for the good part of the last 2 years. And, folks will say, well, look who else is in the paint. Look how he has no spacing around him. Look at ABCLMNOP. Brother, not much has changed except for Anthony Davis's performance these last 10 games, really this season, besides, him falling asleep in the second half or whatever the issue may be. When AD is locked in, I don't care what is around him. And especially if he is sharing the court with LeBron James. Guys, I know teams win championships, but when those two are locked in, you don't need much more. You do not need a roster full of just all the depth in the world. You don't need the Clippers roster when you have Anthony Davis and LeBron James locked in. You need what? KCP, Danny Green, JaVale McGee, Alex Caruso. Like, these aren't all-world players surrounding the 2 superstars. You look today, you got Lonnie Walker, who, my brother, I hope you are here for a while, but damn it, you might be playing yourself out of what the Lakers can afford. But still, Lonnie is a wonderful, solid role player for the Lakers right now. Austin Reeves, wonderful, solid role player for the Lakers right now. Then we got Troy Brown Jr., who apparently just lost his starting spot momentarily for whatever reasons. He is showing that he can fill those gaps of what you need of those glue guys for the Lakers. And then you got folks like Dennis Schroeder that's coming off that is now back in the starting lineup. You have whatever the hell's the version of Patrick Beverley contributing, yelling, fouling, annoying, whatever that looks like. I didn't just read off the goddamn 2001 Lakers roster. I told you Anthony Davis, LeBron James, and pieces. And, Russell Westbrook coming off the bench, who we'll give his flowers in just a little bit and ask where we stand with Russ going forward. But the mood and the temperature of the room changes significantly when the stars are the stars. And I guess the point we're trying to make and to close out this segment before we go to break is that it doesn't take much more for the Lakers to be an absolute threat in the West. We said they are 2 games behind the Warriors for 6, 3.5 games behind the Grizzlies for 4th. After the break, we're going to take a look actually at the NBA standings. Take a look at the teams above the Los Angeles Lakers right now and look at the Lakers' schedule going forward and say, how long before we are officially up out of that big ass hole the Lakers dug themselves in to start the season, and now we can start actually feeling good about the trajectory and the outlook on the rest of the year. Late Night Lake Show. We'll be right back.
It's never too early to play holiday music, and it's never too early to start thinking about gifts. Whether it's for a friend or the friend in your pants, you can make this season to be jolly with Manscaped. Do your little drummer boy a favor and use the Lawnmower 4.0 to avoid another silent night in the bedroom. Then, add in Manscaped's top-of-the-line shower products to have the people thinking, all I want for Christmas is you. Hey man, Santa cares about his sack, and so should you. Look nice when you get naughty by going to manscaped.com and use code LATENIGHT20 for free shipping worldwide and 20% off. Happy holidays.
Guam, I think you would agree that Friday night was an all-timer, man. And I, as a Giannis supporter, like, I don't hate Giannis. There's nothing about Giannis for me to be upset about. To watch him and AD go toe-to-toe, Giannis still having a dominant game, so Bucks fans can't cop out and say, well, X, Y, and Z happened. Both of them Giants absolutely controlled the court, along with LeBron James, too, who, I don't know about you, Kwame, but I'm kind of numb to him rolling his ankle. Unless that bad boy is dangling off the bone, I just think LeBron James is going to tie him tighter and just get back into the game. But victories are sweeter when the other team's superstars are playing like superstars, but you still come out and get the W. Where'd that Bucks game on Friday night rank for you as far as all that you've seen in person? And what are some of the other games that notably you've been in the building for? Man,
I think that might have been, again, with the circumstance of how the team had been playing, seeing that might rank as the best game I've seen in person. And I've seen some other really good games. I saw the same Bucks-Lakers showdown in LA right before the shutdown, that shutdown weekend. That game was incredible as well. But we were supposed to be good. We were the best team all year that season. So that was the expectation. That felt like a finals preview back then, absolutely. But we were supposed to be good. So I expected that. This game, I was unsure about how we come out. Obviously, we were on the streak, but this was easily the biggest test. And the team came out and showed it. I've seen playoff games, Cavs, Indiana Pacers. I've seen a ton of Cavs games, Heat games. But I don't know if I've seen the level of that many stars playing that high level of a game at one time in my life. Like I said, we got double 40 balls. We got LeBron with 27. Russell Westbrook was hooping. They ain't throw between LeBron and Westbrook, like 11 and 13 assists or whatever, 11 assists, no turnovers, like role players doing their damn thing. I don't think I've seen that many dunks in person in a game. It looked like NBA Jam out there. But that game against the Bucks, I think, was a huge morale booster for the team. They went up against the Titans of the East. They went against the 2-time MVP, Finals MVP, and Anthony Davis straight out outplayed that man. And like I said, I don't want no excuses. Hey, I get it. Chris Middleton just came back, but hey, Chris Middleton was on the floor. And he had a pretty good game himself.
15,
Drew Holiday had a phenomenal game. He was balling, and still we overcame and persevered. So that to me, to not crumble, because we saw ourselves mentally crumble against the Pacers a couple nights before that. To come out and do what we did against the Bucks was huge for us. And I think we're going to continue to see us build upon that. And God willing, injuries aside, we keep on doing our damn thing. But this team is looking good, man. Firing all cylinders. People are doing well. There's still a couple of bags of dead weight that we got to throw over the ship, But for now, I'm liking what we're doing. And Ham seems to really have gotten through a lot of these guys. Westbrook looks like a rejuvenated player coming off the bench, closing games, doing his thing. Getting his chemistry with Anthony Davis needs to be spoken about more. He's getting Anthony Davis some phenomenal looks with his passing. This is what we wanted This is what we wanted last year. Like, damn, Russ, why could you just given us this last year? But I'm glad that it's here today. He's been doing his thing, setting them up with nice, easy looks, getting deep in the paint. We saw at the Bucks game, they run that play, that deep screen and roll with LeBron and AD, and they were running that joint to oblivion. LeBron's playmaking decisions, whether to take it up himself and let Anthony Davis clean up the board if he can't make it, or the quick pocket pass to AD, the Bucks had no solution for that. And I don't know many teams in the league that are going to have a solution for that. But
what do you do?
This is what we've been asking for: the LeBron and AD pick and rolls to just be spammed. Spam it.
Bro, for years. This is a Vogel thing. Years. This is a Ham thing. It was an everything thing. I was like, hey, probably the most simple play in the NBA. We're not utilizing our two best players and doing it. Like LeBron AD pick and roll should be one of the deadliest things in the NBA. Because what are you going to do? I guess you drop and you force AD to be a pick and pop shooter. But at this point in time, he's so damn dominant at the rim. You see his confidence is starting to grow more and more in that jumper.
Each time it hits.
Bro, they starting to get a little wet out there.
Yeah.
They starting to get a little wet with these jumpers where I'm like, I used to say I lose 15 minutes of life every time Anthony Davis shoots a three or shoots an early jumper in the shot clock. Now I think it's about even. I'm not getting life back every time he shoots it, but I think I'm no longer losing minutes from my life watching those things happen. So please continue that momentum, Lakers, as we move forward and as the team continues their East Coast swing of their road trip. Looking ahead for the Los Angeles Lakers, they have a few more games on the road before they return home against the Boston Celtics, which we're all excited to see on December 13th. But up until that point, the Lakers have their next game on Tuesday against the number 3 seed in the East, Cleveland Cavaliers, followed by the Toronto Raptors, and then the number 5 seed Philadelphia 76ers. Then they finished up on the road against Detroit before going home to face the Celtics. There are 4 out of 5 teams on this stretch are above 500 basketball teams, right? So the mini break or whatever you want to call it between facing San Antonio twice and Indiana and losing on a buzzer beater to them, and then Portland without Dame, and then Washington, the Lakers are going to be up against some good basketball teams, which is more opportunity to prove that this just isn't a blip on the radar and it's actually signs of growth as a basketball team. So, Kwam, as we look ahead over these next 5 games, starting with Cleveland and finishing up in Boston, how do you think the Lakers match up, man? What's your prediction for this next 5-game stretch where by the time we finish up that Boston game and we wake up on Wednesday, December 13th, the Lakers could be a above 500 basketball team? How do you feel like this is going to play out?
Honestly, I think we have a lot of really good opportunities. The Cleveland game, when we played them early in the season, I think we actually played them really, really tough, especially in the first half. We had a really tough third quarter where we kind of let Donovan Mitchell turn up and we never kind of got back into it. But they're a little banged up too right now. Jared Allen hasn't been around, so we may be able to get a little fun there. AD, Evan Mobley, big man matchup. But
real quick, Evan Mobley is top in the league as far as defensive rating, right before Anthony Davis. So, you know, we like 2 big defensive big boys matching up down there, so that'll be fun.
Yeah, but hey, it's LeBron back at home, and LeBron loves to go out and show out whenever he's in Cleveland. So I expect LeBron to be ready to roll, and I expect Anthony Davis to continue his dominance, and I expect the team to do well. So I'm hoping for a win there. The Toronto Raptors game intrigues me because this team is massive. Outside of Fred VanVleet, who they start, and I guess Gary Trent, 6'5", isn't too big, but they have a plethora of 6'9" guys on their team, which may give us some trouble if we continue to start Pat Bev and Dennis Schroeder. So I'm a little concerned about the size of the Raptors, but outside of that, they don't intimidate me a ton. I just hope Ham reinserts Troy Brown because I think we'll need him a little bit more. I would prefer, in all honesty, for that game, I prefer Dennis, Lonnie, Troy, Braun, AD is my 5. That's what I prefer to start, but we'll see if they're still going to, give their loyalty to Pat Bev there. But, that team is tough. OG Anunoby has been balling. Siakam has been doing well. They got Scotty Barnes. They got a good team over there. Philadelphia will be interesting. They said that's the projected return for James Harden, right?
Of course it is.
Of course, but hey, he better call up Chris Middleton, and Chris better tell him, don't do it. Don't come back against the Lakers. This is no longer a team to warm up on. Worry about it. But this is another big man matchup. We're going to see AD and Embiid go toe-to-toe. I'm a little worried about the twerking for fouls because, the refs haven't really been playing well for us. Yep. They've really been in the opponent's pocket every game we played. So I'm a little nervous that the refs might take over the game for them twerking for fouls, but another great matchup. I think, again, as we've been playing, I don't think any of these teams are really what we're going to match up against. I don't think they're better than the Milwaukee team we just played on Friday. But then wrap it up in Sunday, Detroit. Let's see if Isaiah Stewart wants to get his revenge on LeBron from knocking his head off. But, the Pistons are an okay team. I don't expect anything much from them. But this is one of the games where you got to, if we're going to really establish a good rhythm, we got to beat the teams we're supposed to beat. And Detroit is one of those teams that we're supposed to beat. We got to win that one too. Then we come home with Boston. And that's going to be a big one. We really going to need the boys to rise up, but they don't have a soul on that roster who can guard Anthony Davis. Even like before Anthony Davis. Ain't nobody guarding today's Anthony Davis. Time Lord ain't looking like he going to be there, so they going to need a different Lord to save them. Maybe Jesus Christ, that might help them, but I really think that we going to have to put our foots in these guys, the green guys, but hey, Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown have been absolutely balling this season. They look like they took that final loss to heart and they're trying to run it back. But hey, they're gonna have to come in our house and show us what it's about. So I think we have a really good opportunity here. At worst, I think I see us losing 2 games here. At absolute worst, I can see 2 drops. But
was that the Sixers game and possibly the Celtics game?
I really don't think we lose the Sixers game, man. If anything, it would be the revitalized Cavs team. But without Jared Allen, I don't feel so great. But it's LeBron at home, so I think I got to side with the Lakers here. I think I got to move a little bit towards the Lakers. So really, I think one, and that's the Celtics. But that will be the biggest test of the season thus far. They're number 1 in the East?
Yep. And got the leading MVP candidate, Jason Tatum.
So that will be the biggest test of the season thus far, Tuesday, December 13th. But like I said, I think we could easily go 4-1 in this stretch.
I like it. I like it a lot. Real quick, couple of quick notes as you were talking through the foul merchant, Joel Embiid. The Lakers over the past 10 games are shooting the most free throws in the entire NBA.
Finally.
Hallelujah, because we feel like the refs are anti-LeBron fouls, but I also think this is a great testament to where Anthony Davis is living.
Yep. 2 feet in the paint.
If you got 2 feet in the paint, and every lob, every drop off, every, drive ends up with you at the rim, these boys gonna hack you. You too strong, too big, and too crafty for them not to. That shit kind of hurt. But we absolutely love to see us shooting and making free throws here in Laker Nation. I think 3-2. You walk away from that and be like, great, fantastic. As long as one of the games aren't a frustration loss against some of the teams that you're supposed to beat, like Detroit, right? I can live with coming out of this road trip. The Lakers would end this road trip on a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You go 4-2. On the road trip. I think that is fantastic basketball as you head home to face the Boston Celtics on that 5th game. Kwame, there was some rumblings from a friend of the show this past week, Yoman Buha of The Athletic, dropped a nice, tasty article for the Lakers Nation. Speaking to the Lakers' new updated, get your pen and paper out, get your calendars out, new updated timeline, and when they are looking to make a trade to improve this roster. I just want to acknowledge real quick, and I'm just so appreciative that we are no longer at the point where it's a decision if the Lakers are going to make any moves to improve the team and waiting to see if this is even worth it in upgrading the roster, which I thought from the jump was one of the top 3 things I've heard in the year of our Lord 2022. I'm just really happy that we're no longer hearing dumb shit like that. And we're now at the, hey, here's a new updated timeline for when we're going to get this puppy really rolling. Now, the biggest name in those trade rumors since the last game of last season ended is Russell Westbrook. Russell Westbrook is also embracing and playing well in his new role as 6th man for the Lakers. Russ, I believe, had 15 assists last game against the Washington Wizards. You don't bring a guy off the bench that can get you 15 assists like that. You can't find a guy like that really on the open market. If so, he would be starting, right? But Russ is a interesting situation where his salary and his production and his role are kind of on 2 different ends of the spectrum. Jovan spoke about option 1 would being the Lakers packaging up Russell Westbrook and the 2 first-round picks for a player or group of players that would significantly upgrade this roster and boost them into championship contention. That was option 1. Jovan also mentioned about plan 2 and 3, which would be the Lakers using some combination of Patrick Beverley, Kendrick Nunn, and one of the first-round picks, multiple second-round picks for role players who better address needs and upgrade the roster. So building a more complete team by not trading Russ, but using those 2 firsts, one of those 2 firsts with the Lakers' other role players to getting a group of guys that may not be A's, but, a few B- players. Option place would be a combination of the 2, would be a separate deal in which Westbrook and a pick is flipped, and then another Beverly Nunn package and the other first-round pick is flipped, and then you bring in pretty much a whole new half roster of players for the final, 50 games of the NBA season. Kwame, in light of Russell Westbrook's recent resurgence, strong performance coming off the bench for the Lakers, where are you at with these rumored trade packages, man? You and I have been lockstep in. Russ has got to get the F up out of here all the way up until he became 6-man Brody. And now we find ourselves today in a little bit of a decision-making situation. So where do you fall in the outlook of improving the Lakers roster in hopes of turning them into contenders in the playoffs? What is your route of improvement?
I'll be honest. I think I think I like package 2 the best. Packing up a combination of Nunn and Beverly and a pick and bringing in, a role player to whatever we could fit in that salary dump. I get it. Russ has been great coming off the bench, and I do still think 47 M's is an overpay. I still do. And that's a lot of money that you can use to get a lot of good back. But it would really have to be a home run hitter for me to be okay with getting rid of Russ. Like I said, his ability has contributed to a lot of Anthony Davis's dominance with his ability to get him the ball in the spots he needs, quick passes in the post, whatever it may be. Russ has really helped elevate AD. Will AD be as dominant without Russ or somebody that can get him the ball at any shift? That might be a little tougher. So, for me, I really do like Russ just because his how he's been handcuffed to AD in this stretch and how he's made AD, even go above and beyond what we had imagined he'd be this season. But honestly, I don't think this team needs much more. Like you said, hey, you look at the standings, we're only 5 games out of first, 5 games in the loss column. Like the West is wide open right now. I don't know if we need a ton. I don't really like the third one where we get rid of Russ, Beverly and Nunn and the picks, because that ultimately just gives you like an entirely different team. And when you have an entirely different team, then you have to rebuild chemistry. You got to rebuild roles. And when we're trying to win games after an abysmal start, I don't know if we have enough wiggle room to rebuild a lot of these habits and roles for people. But like I said, I know it'd probably be a tough sell to get anything great back from Beverly and Nunn because they have not been great this season at all. But hey, everybody's enticed by those 2 first-round picks. So maybe it's better that we, if we got to package them both or whatever. I don't really know what players we could get back for a Nunn Beverly package, but I've kind of leaned back into the side of let's see what Russ is really about. 6-man Brody's really been doing his thing. So I want to give him his credit, and I think he deserves to be here. I think he's done a real good job resurging after the terrible season we had last year and even the beginning of this season. He's really done strides. I think Ham's done a great job of really believing in him, and sometimes that's all you really need. Doesn't seem like he has many issues about what's happening these days, and we're winning. Hey, winning cures all. That's what they say. You know what I'm saying? So I'm a little bit on the keep Rush train. So I don't know how you feel, but that's just kind of how I'm feeling at the moment. I get it. The 47 M's is a lot of money. That's a ton that we could get some real quality back. If we could supplement even kind of what Russ gives, or a real good shooter and maybe a real good big or real good wings, whatever, then I think you still have to. But we're not taking nothing mediocre for Russ no more. I know those are some of the trades thrown out, but we're not taking none of the mediocre business. So we're going to have to see.
We're going to have to see.
The Late Night Lake Show podcast is sponsored by Prize Picks. Prize Picks is the best legal way to play daily fantasy player props in states like California, New York, Texas, and more. You pick 2 to 5 players and an over-under on their projections, and you can win up to 10 times on any entry. The best part is you can mix players from different sports. You can take the over on LeBron combined with the under on Mahomes in the same entry. Prize Picks is the easiest way to play daily fantasy because it's just you versus the projected numbers. Just use our promo code LNLS, and any deposit you make can receive 100% instant deposit match up to $100. So go support the brand and go win you some money. It's the best of both worlds. Again, use our promo code LNLS.
Man, I there's one thing, Kwame. There's just one thing in this whole embrace Brody 6-man, whatever price he is at right now. He is playing a role and playing a role well for the Lakers. Can you cover your eyes and not look at how much money he's commanding if the Lakers can continue to build on their chemistry and on their defensive identity and offensively still be this strong, powerful, dangerous team in the open court and in the half court when they're feeding their big dogs? There's just one point. He's an expiring contract, brother.
Yeah.
That's a lot of money to just let walk out the door for free 99, right? Like, the Lakers have been kind of setting up their rosters for a bunch of one-year deals so they can go into the next year with cleaner books and LMNOP X, Y, and Z reason. Are they going to keep that Russell Westbrook expiring contract on the roster to watch it vanish when you don't necessarily get to recoup all of that cap space going forward? I don't know if that is a decision-making point that the Lakers front office has to weigh. And is there an inflection point where it's like, Russ is playing too well for us to trade him for pieces that aren't going to bring back what he's actually providing, which is that spark off the bench in the assists and the rebounds and the overall effort? Is Russ a great defensive player? No, he's not. I'm going to keep it a beam with you. Not a lot of guys that come off the bench are defensive wizards, right? They're usually scorers or specialty players or bigs that are rolling, shooting, or dunking, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't have an answer for the nation right now because I'm not getting paid to answer that question. If I had to lean one way or the other, I would say you probably still have to find Russ a new home if it brought back that caliber of player that the Lakers feel like is going to propel them into actual contention. I also think you also got to attach some first round picks to Russ for a team to eat that. So that's another consideration point in there. But I feel like for the fact that he is an expiring guy, and if the Lakers don't have any plans on signing him in past this season, which is kind of nutso to even think that that's even on the table after how the last calendar year went, I don't know, man. I feel like the Lakers are only going to trade Russ if Chicago or a team like Chicago that has 2 stars on their roster says, F this isn't working, let's blow it up. I think if DeMar DeRozan was on the table, if Zach LaVine was on the table, Russ would be in Chicago tomorrow and we would go and catch a home game with Bulls Brody, right? Mm-hmm. Russ will not get flipped, in my opinion, with a first-round pick for a guy like Buddy Hield or Miles Turner. I think we're starting to see that in this option 1, 2, and 3 package type things. I think options 2 and 3, the Lakers feel like is a Buddy Hield, Miles Turner trade or a San Antonio trade for their role players and things like that. Maybe I'm wrong, but I really feel like Russ is only flipped if it brings back an all-star. Is that off base?
I would agree. But I mean, I get your point about the expiring deals, but according to Jovan, and again, this may have changed, but the Lakers were unwilling to take on any long-term salary. They didn't want to give multiple-year deals. So if that's the case, I wouldn't be surprised if they just let Brody go at the end of the season if we do hang on to him, or they try and re-sign him to a sizable deal, whatever it may be. But it seems like they were pretty committed to having that flexible cap space open at the end of the season for whatever move may be made. But like I said, if they are not willing to take on salary multiple years, I don't see, a great trade out there again, anywhere really, if it involves Russell Westbrook. And that's just how I see it. So again, unless that stance has changed in recent months, I'd find it hard for them to bring in anything of substantial value that sits on their books for multiple years if they're done with this era or whatever it may be. But again, hey, winning cures everything. So those stances could have easily changed.
Yes, it does. I also think, Lakers love pulling on the sympathetic heartstrings of nostalgia and stuff. So I think a DeMar DeRozan, Zach LaVine, California reunion. Lakers love putting a story together on how their folks are coming home, right? So we'll have to see. I think it would take a big fish for the Lakers to flip Russ in the 2 firsts for a player that is obviously going to be a starter, right, and make a big impact for the playoff run. I would like to see moves made. I also agree with you. I think option 2 is probably our most likely with Nunn and Beverly, maybe one of the first round picks. Go bring you back some depth. Get rid of a little bit of this guard fucking inventory and go and get you some wings. I actually went through the whole show without cursing, man, and then I just threw it away right there.
Yeah, well, you tried.
Yeah, I tried. It's the morning. I don't curse
but,
as much.
Don't forget, they just recently waived Matt Ryan ahead of the December 15th
yes.
trade opening for some players that were traded in the offseason. So let's keep an eye out there. Shams reported that.
Eyes on the prize. We will be monitoring the trade front situation as December 15th is only 10 dias away. It's going to get fun, folks, and especially if the Lakers are winning, this is only going to get more fun. What exciting time it is to be a basketball and a Lakers fan. If you were here at the beginning of the year and you are still here today, congratulations. You made it through one of the realms of hell. Dante's Inferno, where you have to go through those different simulations, the guy rolling up the ball to the top of the mountain only for it to fall back down, and he has to do that for all eternity. We passed that test, and we are now on to the second one. What we all can just pray for is health and wealth. As long as AD is standing on his 2 feet and he's healthy, long as LeBron James is tying them shoestrings tighter and them ankles and knees and stomach and toes and whatever ails old men is feeling all right, the Lakers are in the mix, and there is not a team in the league that I am going to just automatically say is going to stomp the Lakers when our big dogs are playing at the level that they are capable of.
Amen.
That'll do it for this episode of the Late Night Lake Show podcast. I know we said we make it a shorter one, but you know how we do when we get going. But we will still be back on Thursday with a new episode featuring our special guest. So make sure you guys are tuned into that. Make sure you're subscribed to our Late Night Lake Show YouTube channel. Make sure you subscribe to the podcast wherever you get your podcast. And make sure you guys are supporting our sponsors that support us. We got Prize Picks, promo code LNLS. We got Manscaped, promo code Late Night 20. And as you guys just heard at the beginning of the show, we picked up a new sponsor, Chase. Oh, we got the credit cards on our side now, baby. We got the big banks rolling with Late Night Lake Show. You can't stop us, damn it. You can only hope to contain us. But until next time, folks, we will catch you guys after tomorrow's game against the Cleveland Cavaliers. So let's keep this momentum rolling. And let's keep supporting our boys. It's been an interesting season. I'm sure this isn't going to be the last chapter of the roller coaster saga. So for Kwame, it's Ricky, Late Night Lake Show. We'll see you on the timeline. Peace.